I'd like to welcome everyone to the conversation where we talk about everything Cowboys. My favorite team, your favorite team, America's team. Here with your host, Coach Marv.
Hey, how y'all doing, Cowboy Nation? How are you doing today, man? How are you doing? Still having these little technical difficulties. This program is really tripping, man. But I want to say hello, man. I want to say hello to all my listeners out there, all my people that comes in and uh follow me. For the new people, if you hadn't seen my show but yet, and you're coming through this and you're coming across my show, we do some great content here. It's a little bit different from everybody else content. We kind of deal with a maybe a coach's point of view as a more of a point of view of what we're going to do, and we're going to try to do some things, and we're going to have a good little talk today. And that's what we want to have today. We want to have a good little talk today. If you hadn't subscribed, that's what your to-do list is down on the bottom of the screen. We want you to like, we want you to subscribe, we want you to enjoy. We're going to talk to you a little bit today about we just got to have a talk, man. I've been following Twitter. There's a big there's a lot of push for there's a push for to make sure that we do all we can in the player acquisition part. There's a push for what Jerry has said about we will give some big assets and there will be some major things. Um, I'm gonna give my feelings on that. Some of that is gonna be, and I may be wrong, but I always tell people, man, we have to think logically. And I know a lot of people say, Coach Marv, you think too logical, and that ain't how things logic. But when does logic not work? When we get to the point where we saying logic don't work and irrational and unlogical things are the what we need to talk about. We in trouble. Um, we're gonna talk about some things. We're gonna talk about some things that may have some problems. And these are just my opinions. Hopefully we don't come down these roads again. As I always say, sometimes I say things, and sometimes I say things and it's in advance of when stuff goes about to happen, and we got to go down that road anyway. You're gonna have to come down that road. Hopefully, some of these things we got to come down the road, and hopefully, some of the things we are gonna have to come down this road. But I do want to say something. I've been on both sides of the fence on this issue about uh, and I'm not talking about it, but it's a something of a team overkill. I don't understand what overkill is. You can't in this game of football. You got to put it on the field, and this having a bunch of guys and they're saying, well, I just get more guys and I get it. Yes, but it's the team chemistry is a big part here. And if overkill was a thing, there have been a lot of owners that are richer than Jerry by far. Jerry's not no, he got the most valued franchise, but he's not the richest owner by far. And if overkill was a substance that teams could use to be to be overly successful, they probably will. But I do say the opinion of how things are going, man, with this new found society now of super teams and, and stacking. And what kills me about that is, and I understand where it's coming from, but it's not winning. Knicks didn't overstack. OKC made champions. Seattle made champions. New England came from making champions. Um, Kansas City got rid of talent and made champions. Um, Philadelphia took it with, yeah, acquisition of uh, of the running back and had two wide receivers, but no third wide receiver. Did it with two rookie guys in the backfield in the secondary of the year they won it. So yes, I can understand where you was saying. It sounds good. Is what people want to talk about. It keeps our channels going. It does keep the news going. It does exactly what Jerry does. Keep news going. And we're a product of Jerry Jones. Much as we talk about Jerry in the front office, they have programmed us to be just like them. And that's sad. But that's usually how it happens. The thing you talk about the most, after a while, you start turning just like it. But I can understand the thirst of wanting to win a championship and want to make your odds really good. But there's no guarantee. I don't care if you get 5 max cards this year, 5 so and so. It still ain't no guarantee in this great team sport. Nobody knows when before the season starts, and you can have some idea if you're gonna have a good football team. But I'm more on the point of saying we have a damn good football team here. And we got a football team that I think we can be very proud of if they come together as a team. And I think that's the most important part that I don't hear nobody talking about. If they come together as a team and sacrifice, this is where the biggest part is. But I don't think our fan base is going to allow us to sacrifice. We're too starstruck. They're not going to allow us to sacrifice for the greater good of this team. We're gonna find ourselves pitting guys against other guys. We're gonna start finding ourselves talking about guys they want to get paid, they need to get paid, the numbers. We're gonna talk about a lot of stuff that's gonna pit each other against the nice sacrifice. But one thing about winning a championship, if you want to have a great team, if you want to win a championship, there's gonna be people who have to sacrifice a lot of their stuff for the greater good of the team. Yes, there must be sacrifice for accomplishment. But are we going to be able to be good fans and do that? We have gotten to a point now that we don't talk about work anymore. We don't talk about being that grind, that getting it from the mud. We're getting to a point now that we are talking about if we just go get it from somebody else. It's sad, but I think it's come from a zest to want to win. I don't think it's come from a zest of bad ill will and ill will against Cowboy. I think it comes from just thirsty. And I'm thirsty. Been a long time. I am so thirsty to get back to that chance of being in that championship game, that NFC championship game, or being in that point where everything's riding on the line and getting to that Super Bowl and having it. Yes, we're thirsty. I'm thirsty. But in our thirst, we start to think a little bit irrational. And in our thirst, we started going, start doing stuff, or we start hoping for stuff that one time we wouldn't like that. And now it's almost like we got to do everything to get that. And I will tell you this, man, I will believe this. The Joneses are not going to do nothing that's way outside the financial structure of the rest of the NFL. Now, they may, I doubt it, but they're not going to do nothing outside the financial structure of the NFL. Now, there's maybe a couple of teams in the financial structure of the NFL that has, if Cosby comes here, probably would be the highest paid defensive line in the history of NFL. When you take Quentin Williams' extension, what Cosby is making, and I looked up the stuff about his salary. Some people say, well, no, coach, he's gonna just have a 7.1 million salary cap. That's if you kick the numbers and you change some of that salary into signing bonus, like 30 million of that into signing bonus. Yes, you can make it a $7 million pay cap hit, but the only thing you do is pushing a hell of a lot down the road. And I think some people that don't understand pushing that down the road. This is not talking about Cosby if Cosby is a good football player. I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing that at all. And I'm not trying to count nobody money. But I do understand that people make sound financial decisions, and there's something that nobody's talking about. Regardless of what y'all feel of what Baltimore did, but they backed out of a contract and a trade with probably a potential Hall of Famer that's not that old. And I'm gonna say this, I know it might get me in trouble. They got the complexion for the connection that probably most teams love to build their franchise and have them on the front of it. And they backed out of that. There's a reason why they backed out of that, but nobody wants to talk about that. We act like it disappeared, as like it's a null and void question. But if you look at his contract, you understand why. See, we don't look at stuff and say, hey man, this is not about Max Cosby being Max Cosby. This is about Max Cosby being Max Cosby and not spending 40 million dollars, and then Max Cosby is not Max Cosby. And then you're tied up with Max Cosby and he's not Max Cosby anymore. That's what this is about. It's not hard about them to figure out what his value or what if they're gonna trade him. But this is the craziest thing about it. There's a lot of stuff that just don't add up. And I don't think our people out there listening. One, Max Cosby cannot dictate who he be traded to. He don't have no trade clause. Why would Max Cosby want to be traded out of Las Vegas? Well, some say, well, coach, he tired of losing. Is it because Max Cosby got a 3-year deal and ain't about 30-something million dollars left on that deal guaranteed? A little bit over 30 million is still guaranteed? Is it because Max Cosby secretly wanted an extension? See, when Quentin Williams got traded here, you don't think when they went into dealing with Quentin Williams, when they went and gave that picks for Quentin Williams, it wasn't discussed with his agent when they made the trade? Hey, how you doing? You don't think it was discussed when they made the trade that he wanted an extension? Because the Cowboys took him and said, yeah, we're going to play you. But a lot of that money he still had on his contract was unguaranteed. The Cowboys wasn't going to forfeit on the unguaranteed money. Not for the next year. No, they weren't going to forfeit because they like Quentin Williams. But Quentin Williams had to cover himself. Because if Quentin Williams had got hurt in any type of way, the Cowboys could have walked away and all that guaranteed money that he had for the next 2 years would have been gone. So you don't think that was a subject conversation that when you traded him there, that the agent then started right off the bat and said, hey, let's solidify my client's future with some guarantee? Of course it was. Did it have to wait for it to be done? Yes, it was going to wait. You don't think if you don't think that happened, and you think you just going by the reports of what the people say in the media, come on, man. That's why I keep trying to tell y'all, man, we got to start thinking logic. You don't think I always ask you if it was you. You think you just gonna come there and say, oh, we're gonna play, because there's no guarantee. we're playing on guaranteed money off the books, most of it. So now you want to guarantee that money, and you want to guarantee your future. And not only because of that, they like it with Quentin Williams as a leader. When you traded for Gary, which is a damn good football player, you know why you traded for Gary? You know why the Green Bay Packers? It's evident why the Green Bay Packers traded Gary. It wasn't his Gary's production, and they couldn't use Gary. They were not going to pay that much of money on their defensive line. Gary's contract was at the end. There was no guaranteed money on that. Gary wanted some guarantee. Every player wants some guarantee. This is what you're talking about with Pickens. Every player wants some guarantee. Because if you don't have no guarantee something goes wrong, I don't care if you got $17 million left out there on your contract. Something goes wrong, they cut you and you're gone and you don't get a dime. Now the cap may get hit, but you don't get a dime. Green Bay was not going to give Gary another contract because they would have to give him a raise. So instead of giving him a contract, they got rid of a very good player because they were not willing to sign him to an extension. He comes here, what they do, rework his deal, give him a little guaranteed money, spread it out 2 years, give him guarantee some more money, and he's happy for that. And it's a pretty healthy deal. May not have a cap hit, but it's a double-digit deal. So you're talking about a double-digit Quentin Williams, damn near triple-digit when you're talking about $30 million. You're talking about $30 million Max Crosby. You're talking about $17 million Gary. Clark contract is pretty high for 1 year. Didn't give him no guarantee. But it's pretty high. You're talking about 4 guys that's making in the high, a lot of money. Now, they might not have no cap, no cap consideration because Williams, Quentin Williams don't start in 2 years from now. I understand what you're saying, but down the road you got to pay the piper, and that can be one thing you don't want to do. And see, I don't think y'all understand. I think y'all listen and y'all say, well, one thing you don't want to do. The worst thing in the world is that you're paying the piper and you're paying all these contracts off and you got these big cap hits and you stuck with guys and they're past their prime. You can't get no value for them and you're paying them big time and they're clogging your place up where you can't get nothing else. Nobody wants to be in that situation. I'm not saying that. But I also say this 3-year contract for Max Crosby. You in year 2. You don't think Max Crosby want an extension? A little bird told me the problem with Max Crosby in the Baltimore wasn't about if he could play this year. It's that Max Crosby want an extension. Doctors would not clear him for a long-term deal. If you think Max Crosby gonna come here on his ilk and say he's gonna play 1-2 years and let it ride without getting an extension, and he's gonna be a happy camper. No, not a guy that's that level. Now, are the Cowboys willing to extend him for 2 or 3 more years? That has already had questions about a knee. I know that sounds good. I know that's saying we all in. That's what we ain't worried about. That's what I would say. But you gonna compound it? I ain't worried about that part. But you gonna compound it with a possibly 2 first-round draft picks or future draft picks that could be a Tyler Smith or a Tyler Booker or Caleb Downs. I love Cosby. I think Cosby can play. How long he gonna play? I don't know. But every team in the NFL is saying the same thing. Then I get to my next topic when I say every team in the NFL. But this is something that it hurts me about my Cowboy fans. My Cowboy fans, my Cowboy content creators sometimes. And maybe some people said me too. We feel that we them boys and all the rules are different from us. Jerry has programmed us that way too. When he tells people, yeah, we could do what gives you this sense like we the big bad Cowboys and we can do whatever we want to do. We act like if there's a player out there, we can just go get him. We act like we give it first round draft picks, like we got first round draft picks that like we're a bottom half team and people looking at our team and we gave them some first round draft picks. We acting like those draft picks are gonna be like number one or in the top five. With this team presented, they might get a 32nd first round draft pick. In the next 2 years. We act like if we want to go, we can pull the trigger and just go get a guy. And everybody wants to play at Dallas. We act like we just tell Jared, let's sign. Like there's no negotiation. Like the other guy don't have nothing to say about the negotiation. Jared signed the guy. Like we supposed to just give them whatever they want. Do you realize if we get Max Cosby, man, we'll probably have include Dak Prescott, and didn't they say we signed Pickens? We'll have probably 5 or 6 of the top 3 paid guys in position in the NFL. Quinn Williams, Tyler Smith, Dak Prescott, Max Cosby. CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens. 7, we'll probably have 6 or 7 of the top 5 guys, either top 3 or 4 in their division, in their position. Nobody else will be nowhere close to the salaries that will be paid. And we're going to be competing with teams that don't even have nowhere close to that salary structure. And some of them already won something. Society tells us that if you spend money, you win. I'm a Dodgers fan. You know, some people say, well, Dodgers spend money, but Dodgers spend money on, when you talk about Betts and Freeman, in today's, they should be even higher on the totem pole. They're getting minimum, they're getting good contracts, but minimum. But they're Will Smith, Betts, Freeman. You look at the inner workings of that team, the backbone, the ground roots guys that really push that team. See, we don't really look at that. We just look at the top average. Oh man, the starters, 30 drinks. Yeah, they get paid pretty well. but they true baseball players. And yes, people, we got a team here. I'm not saying that we won't do it, but I'm just saying logically. Do you think that Jerry them gonna set the tone on that? You could bring Cosby here and have two of the highest paid defensive linemen in the NFL on the same team, and then turn around in a year and have two of the top $235 million wide receivers and two $30 million defensive players. The Cowboys would be setting the trend. All right, good man. Thank you, man. Yeah, I'm glad you got it, man. Listen here. My guy, I want to post your comment on here. Got his shirt. He's going to say he's gonna upload his shirt. Um, not only that he got a shirt. My man Jones got a shirt. He got his shirt and his towel. Coach Marv Real Talk, man. Coach Marv Real Talk. Defense is a weapon. He got and I hope you like it. I hope you like it, Steve. I hope you really like it. Yep. Tell people if you like it, man. Is a quality shirt, man. Put something in the bag, man. Make sure you have his towel, man. We gonna rock and roll. But that's what I'm saying, man. It's just that yes, we feel that everybody we stir anybody we want, we can go get. And guess what? Every rumor about every player is always the Cowboys. They're always starting a rumor about every player is a Cowboy rumor. Like the Cowboys can be the only people that can go out and get guys. And we act like, and this is the sad part is, we say that as Cowboy fans. We feel that way as Cowboy fans that we can go get anybody. Don't you know we are hurting the negotiations because of our arrogance? You think that anybody in the NFL wants to give us anything for a discount price for us to be great? You think the Raiders, even though in our great relationship with us, you think that they're going to look at this roster, look at this team, duh, and look at this roster and this team and see all our rabid fan base and says, no, we want 2 first-round picks, we want a second-round pick, and we want a player or two. I mean, you would think I would try to kill them because, hey, they rabid about it. Now, all this stuff about we gonna trade for the guy from Miami, maybe I doubt it. Let's look at that logic. If the Miami Dolphins knew that they were tanking, what advantage did it give them to sign the guy to a contract first? If they were gonna get rid of him, they could have got rid of him for some picks and continue to build a team this year. We're asking for picks. Now, I know the scouts go out and do advanced scouting, and they got their eye on guys. They already done put the scouts already done put a top 10 guys out there. But just like y'all say, the fans' point of view means something. How in the hell you gonna sell to your fan base? They don't even know what's the guys who's coming out next year. How you gonna sell to them by selling off your team before you play any games for some picks next year from a Cowboy team that when you give them that player, those picks ain't gonna be represented. Because our team gonna be damn good. And we think we just go out and make a trade and people be like, oh yeah, we'll take it. Could Jerry say we gonna do some wheeling dealing? Could Jerry say he talked to somebody? I mean, I, 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 I don't know. You can't buy a Super Bowl. Who bought one? See, this what tells me. This what tells me. This is the philosophy of people think that they can buy one. It ain't no way you buy one. Listen, this is another thing that we get misconstrued. We are in Cowboy Nation. We got the most valued franchise. In some of y'all mind, y'all think Jerry Jones is the richest owner in the cow in the NFL. He might be on the 10th of the list. When? When did the Rams buy a Super Bowl? Tell me when they bought a Super Bowl. You talking about the last Super Bowl they won? You think they bought that Super Bowl? Let me ask you. You talking about the last Super Bowl they won? The Rams bought that Super Bowl. We bought it in the 90s. We didn't buy no Super Bowl in the 90s. What did the Rams do so much that they bought that Super Bowl? I love this because this is about to get debunked right quick. Tell me what they did to buy that Super Bowl. I don't even believe our football fan base. They hear something and we just run with it and it's crazy. Let me speak about the Rams and their Super Bowl. People say they bought Super Bowl because they got Odell Beckham. Do you know how they got Odell Beckham? Anybody that know how they got Odell Beckham? Odell Beckham was released by Cleveland. He had other offers that were more than what the Rams were gonna pay him. They paid him $2 million. Odell Beckham decided to go to the Rams and turn down other offers. Cooper Kupp was a fourth or fifth round draft pick. You traded for one guy you traded for him. You traded a Super Bowl quarterback, the quarterback that was in the Super Bowl for Matthew Stafford. That's an even trade. That's not buying nothing. You gave up a big time asset to get another guy, a guy that already been in the Super Bowl. We don't even know who the other cornerback was on that team. You traded to get Von Miller. You only paid him about a couple $1 million because you got him at last ready to trade deadline. Cooper Kupp was an all-world receiver, but you drafted him in the third round, probably. Aaron Donald was a homegrown draft pick. Deion Sanders, Charles Haley. The Super Bowl team, this team was Super Bowl ready when Charles Haley got here. Deion Sanders came here If Troy Aikman don't throw 2 interceptions in the first half, we win 3 Super Bowls before Deion get here. We act like that we was garbage. We playing the NFC Championship game without Deion. If we don't turn the ball over in the first half, and we got our offensive tackle that was not there. Larry Allen his ankle was almost broke, playing on one leg. We'd probably beat San Francisco and go and win our 3rd Super Bowl. And we act like Deion. And when Deion came here the first year, don't you know he missed the first 5 or 6 games? Uh, So where is our ball? He came to a team that won 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. And then we say he was the reason why we won the 3rd Super Bowl. Really? They was a piece of the puzzle. They were not the main reason why we won. There's a major pop. Listen, man. I never thought, man. I never thought when people say, listen, I hear people talk about Deion came here. And this is no disrespect to Deion. Deion came to a team that was already Super Bowl ready, that just had a bad game in the matter of fact, they had the same record as San Francisco, but San Francisco had the tiebreaker. And in that game, if you're a Cowboy fan, when we threw that 2 interceptions and a pick 6 and got down 21-0, the game was basically over. We came back. If we don't do that, we beat Dion them ass in San Francisco and go to our 3rd Super Bowl. And guess what? You know what some church they gonna say? If we win the Super Bowl, know what they gonna say? And Vaughn come and do the exact same thing Charles Haley did. Charles Haley, I think his first year he got 7 sacks. They'll say we won the Super Bowl because Von Miller came here. I think when people talking about we could buy Super, there's no listen. There's no dynasties have bought Super Bowls, man. Anyway, you gonna get a Super? Yeah, we went down 21-0. Yeah, yeah, 21. We were down 21-0. Came back and got back in that game. If we don't have the horrible first half and turn the ball over, this game go down the stretch, or we go to our 3rd Super Bowl in a row. That team was already Super Bowl. We talking about back-to-back Super Bowl champion, and we talking about one guy. Hey man, if he helped anybody, he helped San Francisco. Because San Francisco ain't had no Super Bowls until he got there, and they won that one, and then they had some before that, but they didn't win in that era. They won that one with him. If you want to talk about anybody, but again, I say that, man. I said that, and then I want to go back on touch on another topic. Now I'll touch on this again because I did a show on this before, and I need y'all on this. Church, I want you on this too. I want y'all Cowboy fans this topic. This season, and I'm gonna say this, and I said this before, and I can say this right quick, and I'll be getting out of here. This season right here Everything about this off season, everything about this training camp reminds me of 22 or 21. Now, when I talk about this, people gonna think I'm boosting Dan Quinn. No, I know. No, Dan Quinn had some hell of a defenses here. He put something together, and some of them dissension took away some, and it was a lot more non-unity at the end. But this season reminded me of 21 so much. The year after Mike McCarthy's first year, and y'all named with Mike Nolan, and Mike Nolan left, and we had one of the horrible defenses. We had one of the horrible defenses when Mike Nolan was here. And this season reminds me so much of what happened when Dan Quinn came in, and just unity and continuity brought this defense from the depths of horrible to a top 12 defense, a top 12, 15 defense, and a top scoring 10 scoring defense. If we could just remember back 4 years ago, I'm now thinking 4 to 5 years ago, we could remember how that training camp went, how we had guys making interceptions, and how the defense was playing lights out. We remember that training camp where we were playing lights out, and we had a great offense. That's when we had Amari Cooper. That's when we had CeeDee Lamb. That's when we had a younger Ezekiel Elliott. We had a emerging Tony Pollard. We had a emerging Dalton Schultz. A we had third wide receivers. We had two Hall of Fame offensive linemen. We and Dak Prescott, we were stacked, and we just needed the defense to play better than they played the year before. Now, the year before, they went and got all these free agents. Remember, we got Dante Pope and got all these other guys. We had to cut them before the season was in. Don't that sound like when we got Sam Byrne last year, the Elam and all them stuff? The guys that didn't really pan out. The guys that didn't pan out for Mike Nolan, and we had to get rid of them. Didn't that sound like when we got guys last year that didn't pan out for Eagle Flus, and we had to get rid of them for the season? So it seems so clearly the same from what we had then in Mike Nolan to what we had in Eberflus, and the change that happened the first year Quinn came in, and the change that I'm seeing with the first year of Krista Park. And if you're a Cowboy fan, you see the similarities. And I did a show and I talked about something. And nobody talks about this when they talk about we need to get this guy and get that guy. I understand what you're talking about. But this is why I like this team so much. Because I want to okay. I don't know if y'all can see that. I need to probably make it a little bit bigger. Let me see if y'all can see that a little bit better. Let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger. See if I can make it okay. That might be a little bit bigger. Let me know if y'all can see this pretty clear. I know it, I'm not the technical guy, so let me know if y'all need. If I can something I can do to blow it up. I don't know, but let me see if y'all can see this really clearly. Maybe I need to change my layout so y'all can. So I went back And I thought about that. Let me go and take this off too. I thought about that. I thought about that. Season. I thought about that season. What I was telling you about 21, right? And I said, well, let me go back and see. Let me blow it up a little bit more. I said, let me go back and let me throw a thumbs up in the chat if you can see it, right? If you can see it better. This is the this is the this is the defensive roster that Quinn took over for Dallas Cowboys in 21, the year after the debacle with Mike Nolan, and we got a top 10 pick, remember, like this time, and we got a Micah Parsons, we got a Caleb Downs that they're talking about. Some people think that Caleb Downs was the best defensive player in the draft, and we got a Michael Parsons in 21. We also got a Osa in 21. We got an Overton, and we drafted more defensive guys in 21. Y'all remember that? And this is the defensive starting lineup that we had in 21. And this defense right here, this defense had Dak Prescott got hurt. Do y'all remember? We lost to the Rams 19-3. Y'all remember? And Dak Prescott broke his thumb on that in that first game. And this defense had to play 5 games without Dak Prescott. Coming off the worst defense in Cowboys history. And I think that even was worse than this one, this past one. And this defense had to play 5 games without Dak Prescott. And we won 4. And we kept teams with under 2 of the teams we kept under 20 points. And this team had a DeMarcus Lawrence, a Osa, a Carlos Watson, a Randy Gregory in his first. I think that was his first full year starting, because his first 4 years he kept getting suspended, right? A Michael Parsons, who was a rookie, a LVE, a Diggs that was coming off his rookie year. Remember, Diggs was coming off his rookie year. His first year with Quinn was after the rookie year, and it was a tough rookie year, but he had a breakout. That might be Chevron Rebel. Anthony Brown, that nobody liked. That could be Bland, come back, because Bland, now people don't like Bland, but Bland's a good player. Anthony Brown was a good player. Curse, who came over from the Minnesota Vikings, never had started a full year. Only person that gave him the credit was Boss Cowboy. Boss Cowboy called him out in the Cleveland Sky when Boss was doing his Marshalls thing and picking some gems out there. And he was the one that vouched for Curse. We got DeMonte KZ from the Pittsburgh Steelers. He didn't even finish the year with us. And Jordan Lewis was in the start. And then we had Donovan Wilson came in and started starting. This is the defense that went all the way in the playoffs and had a hell of a game against the Washington. I mean, we were 12-5. Our quarterback missed 5 games. We were 0-1 when the quarterback went out. And when we came back, our team was 4-2. And we had a noodle arm quarterback that didn't have no great stats, but we won games off defense. And all year long, this defense was a very solid defense. And I tell you, y'all worried about now y'all need Max Cosby? If I ask y'all, some of y'all would tell me Krista Parker is better than Quinn. Some of y'all would tell me some of the defensive coaches he got here are better than the guys that we had back then. And you can't tell me the talent that we got now ain't 2 times as better as this. And y'all worried? And know why this team right here played well? Because know who I got missing on here? DeMarcus, Dorrance Armstrong played some pivotal. Uh, um, uh, some other guy like Dorrance Armstrong. I think the first time Dante Fowler was here. No big time players. We got no big time free agents that year. Quinn didn't go get no big time free agents. There was no big time trades that year. And know why this defense played good? Because all year long, they talked about unity, they talked about being together, they talked about doing the job. I remember that. We act like we forget what they talked about the whole season. They was a unified group and they played together. This team right here was a top 15 defense. Was y'all talking about top 15? A top 15 defense and a top 10 scoring defense. This defense right here with rookies at key positions. I don't care how good they were, but they were still rookies. And y'all tell me when I go down here to this roster, this is our current roster. And some of this don't even have Von Miller on. Because I did this show months ago. Months and months ago. When I was telling you this. I ain't just come up with this show. If you go back, I did this show. Go back, I forgot what the show was named, but go back, I did this show months ago. See, like I said, when I do shows, we come back down that street again. And we coming back down that street one more time. This defense got a Quentin Williams. The guy we got from the Chargers is a veteran guy. Kenny Clark has been a Pro Bowler. Rashad Gary has been a Pro Bowler. Yes, you got Overshawn. I'll take Overshawn over LVE. D. Willis done started. I'll take D. Willis over whoever the other linebacker we had at that time. Yes, okay, we got a guy now, Donovan Esmaraku, which I think is going to be a star. A DeJuan Bland, who's already been an all-pro, a potential MVP one year. Malik Hooker is not even gonna be in this starting lineup. Darian Thompson was the top safety out on the free agent board. You got a big time safety with him. Kobe Durant, and then you got Caleb Downs. And you tell me if that defense that I showed you up there could just be unified and become a top 10, 15 defense. If this defense gets unified, we're going to the Super Bowl. If you want to just say, just by looking at it, you want to call names out. If you want to talk about talent, and I told you talent don't win it all. But if you just want to go off talent, this team right here runs laps around a team that we went 12-5 with, and our quarterback was out of the season for 5 games, and when he went out, we was already 0-1. And I guarantee you, if we got to the playoffs this year, they weren't gonna come in no boombox with this team with Christian Parker. I bet you they weren't gonna come in there with no boombox and bully us in Dallas if we had San Francisco in the playoffs. Not this team. How quick we forget, man. How quick we forget. And some of y'all like to say, Coach Marv talked about stuff 30 years ago. No, I'm talking about 4 to 5 years ago. When I got in this YouTube game, when I was following training camp on YouTube, when all of us was following training camp, when Law Nation was down there, all of us was following. We watched that story in 21. And today, we panicking. And we don't even understand that we 5 times better today than we were then. And we see all the signs of the unity and the balling out that we saw in 21 in training camp. Our backups could be better than some of the guys that we had starting in 21. I can't say it no plainer. That's why when I hear all about the Max Cosby stuff and talk about we need this guy to go over the top, that's when I say my Cowboy fans ain't. Are we watching football? Are we watching our team? Do we know our team? Do we know where we have come from? Do we know what happened 5 years ago when we had the same thing happen, come off the worst defense in the world, and had to rebuild it in an offseason? And that year we rebuilt it without getting no trades and no free agents. Quinn put that defense together and he said, we're going to play sound. We're going to play our roles. We're going to play together. And we're going to go after people. And when Dak Prescott got hurt in the face, it was the best thing that happened for that defense because there was no excuses to say we're going to let our quarterback bail us out. We had to buckle up and play defense. And that's what they did. And they got better and better at it. They went through some injuries there. Gregory was out the first 4 games. And then let me tell you this. Gregory was out the games that we played without Dak Prescott. Y'all don't even remember that. See, y'all don't remember that. Gregory hurt his ankle. And then after Gregory hurt his ankle, the 2 games into it, the D-Law had his foot thing. He had to be out 4 games. And the team still played together. Still played together. Still played together, man. You got people like Houston that's sitting on the bench. You got guys like PJ Locke on the bench that's better than the guys that we had playing right now in 2021. And y'all sitting up there worried if that defense, it's just by numbers, just by talent alone, if this defense up here could be a top 12 defense, a top 15 defense, and a top 10 scoring defense, this defense right here should be the #1 defense in the NFL. And ain't nobody can come out and dispute me. Just talk about talent and the resume alone. If we just want to look at it that way. But you can't look at it that way. I've been saying for the longest, we got to come together. And guess what I'm seeing? They coming together. Now, I believe in some people saying, man, we don't understand it. Yes, there's some good stuff happening in Dallas. There's some good stuff. You're gonna see a Samar James play a much better role this year. People just we wiping Samar James off. We don't understand Samar James was forced into a lot of playing time. He was a 6th-round draft pick, played middle linebacker. Yes, he might have had some hiccups, but he got a lot of tackles. The kid was learning on the game, and then we don't think about his linebacker coach probably wasn't worth a damn. He was learning on the go. You don't think this guy's gonna be a 10 times better this year? We act like guys don't supposed to develop. We act like guys go through a hard thing, we just throw them out the window. If we were threw Diggs out the window for his bad first year and get burnt like he did by guys just burnt, we've been done. If we would have been bad, we would have got rid of Larry Anthony Brown. Anthony Brown played some good defensive back. But we just killed him because we thought he's about to be perfect. But he played when he got out, when he got hurt. We hurt. We got people like a Julius Wood on this team, Elijah Clark, guys on the back end that are ballers. We got a guy like Josh Butler, who's a 3rd or 4th string cornerback, when we were talking about he's supposed to have been a starter 2 years ago. This team defense is talented. Big time talented. And guess who see this? Coach Parker see this, and Jerry them see this. Yeah, they don't open their mouth and told you they're gonna make all the change. What's Johnny supposed to say? That's how he keeps his players on edge. He's coaching through the media. They know you don't want to hear that we like our players. So when they do it, they just and we'll change our wording. But they like their players. And you know something? For the first time in a long time, damn it, I love their players too. This team, if it comes together, has the potential to have long-term dominance. Let me say that again. Not short-term dominance, long-term dominance. You got guys that like your backup, your rookie defensive tackle, learning from guys like Quentin Williams, Alabama guy. He's an Alabama guy. You got Bullet, who's got a lot of playing time, run stoppers. They won't even talk about number 95. Number 95 ain't on this list. And he was a dominant guy. And I think he's gonna make this team. He's not even on the list because this is how long ago I did the show. I did this show before we even got on 90-man roster. Just don't even talk about some of the guys that we done picked up. Telling you, man, we got a talented football team. And listen, I don't want to get into the back and forth with should we go get this people and somebody so we go back and forth with all that. I'm not getting into all that. I'm not getting into that back and forth thing because getting in the back and forth thing is to me is frivolous. I just ask you to say, hey man, I remember. Y'all don't remember? Y'all don't remember 21? I remember. I remember doing shows with everybody, going on talking on people's shows when people were coming to sending super chats to everybody's show, talk about what we got going on. I remember when we had good interceptions and stuff and how the defense would come out. I remember how the defense used it. I remember playing the clips about the defense talking about how they playing together and how they playing with each other and how they feel unified and what they were going to do and how they and coming out doing their things. Yes, we lost the game 19-13 to Tampa Bay, but our defense played damn good right off the bat. I remember our defense playing most of the time in preseason. Yeah, our starters. I remember y'all loving Quinn for bringing that defense along. I would say that was the best year of a coaching year that I have seen because he didn't have a bunch of guys. He didn't went out and bought no defense like people say. He built a defense with some some also ran, some guys that got a chance, some guys that would start for the first time, some guys he gave some responsibility, and he took them from butt naked last to top 15 and top 10 scoring defense. And he did buy it. And I see Christian Parker in the same light with even better leaders like Randy Gregory. I mean, even better leaders like Clark, Quentin Williams, Gary, not Von Miller, even better veteran leaders. And I understand we want to be cautious and we want to keep our nose to the grind. That's what hey, keep your foot on the throat, keep on that. But what you need to do is behind closed doors, you need to be doing the exact same thing I'm doing. Saying this NFL, somebody got some ass to pay, baby. We gonna bring some wood to a lot of people. Now we just gotta take our offense, gotta get to the level and be a physical presence and not get pass happy. It's the hardest thing we're gonna have to get across to our Cowboy Nation. That's gonna be a hard thing right there. See, we can't solve the second the backup running back because why? Cowboy Nation don't want to run the football anyway. They don't give a damn about the backup running back. They don't give a damn about the first string running back. The running back is just out there to say we got one and we give it to time just to pacify people. That's what most of our fans do. And Andy Reid, every Super Bowl that Andy Reid went in and he refused to run the football, they got their ass bust. Go look at it. Every Super Bowl he done went from Philadelphia to Kansas City. When he said, I'm not gonna run the football, then they got their ass beat. And they ain't scored that many points. He threw the ball 50 sometimes and can't score points. But every Super Bowl that he had a solid running game and he stayed committed to the running game, they don't won the Super Bowl. With Patrick Mahomes. These ain't in the windows. These ain't no I'm picking stuff out the sky. When I talk about the 21 defensive roster, I ain't picking that out of the sky. Y'all saw it. Y'all watched it right with me. I did live screens with everybody else. We saw it right in front of our view. And we talked about how good that defense will come. We talked about how that defense shut a Cincinnati Bengal team down to 19 points without Dak Prescott and a noodle arm quarterback that couldn't even complete 50% of his passes. And CeeDee Lamb still had damn a whole lot of catches. We watched how he shut the Rams down underneath the Giants down and watching the team down. We went we would have beat Philadelphia. In Philadelphia, we ain't turned the ball over 2 times. I'm watching. I watched it. We watched the defense with just guys that people didn't think it was gonna be, but guys that got paid, like Donovan Wilson had his best year. How Curse got paid. How Diggs became from some people were saying a bust second round draft pick to all pro. People talk trash about Anthony Brown, but Anthony Brown had a hell of a year. It's a difference when a team comes together. Coach ain't going back 30 years, just 4 or 5. That's it. It looks so much. Mike Nolan and Eberflus. Remember, we had the COVID thing going on with Mike Nolan. Then he went and got all these rundown free agents like Dante Pope and I forgot a couple other guys that we cut before the season was over with. Eberflus went and got Elam in the trade, got the linebacker out of Chicago. All those guys were cut before the season was in. Defense going against the coaching staff. Then Diggs talking about the coaching staff. All same stuff. Stuff started getting bad. We just got worse. Mismatched guys all over the place. That's the exact same thing what happened to Mike Nolan. Quinn comes in, just restores some discipline and unity of the defense, and then we take off. This that. Getting guys to play together. Not overwhelming talent. Then he told the administration, don't go get me no free agents. We go get free agents, but don't be the monster brand because they weren't going to spend no money on free agents. He said, give me draft picks and we're going to work it out. And we're going to get some guys to come a level, move up a level. And they did that. And that defense was good for 2 years. Even the last year, they was ranked pretty good. This is a bad game. And it wasn't really, because they were doing all kinds of stuff before the game. The unity had gone too. Because they started bickering each other. Because everybody started getting the big head. Nobody wanted to sacrifice no more. Because everybody thought we had arrived. But this is facts. And that same team, this defense is miles ahead of them. Y'all worried? Y'all way better than what y'all even think. And I think you might be downplaying it because we don't, we do that as Cowboy fans sometimes. We downplay it because we don't want nobody to say that because it's so hell out there with everybody talking trash to us. So sometimes, and I'm gonna be honest with you, sometimes some of my Cowboy fans will start jumping on our own people because we know that that's how these haters out here going to attack us. So we think we can get them to back up off us a little bit if we attack our own people. See, that's happening in America too much right now. Because it's a narrative that people attack us with. So instead of us holding strong to that, we'll start attacking our own people and think that's going to get people off our case. You ain't doing but destroying your own. We ain't doing but destroying your own, man. So I say that, man, we're in a good spot, man. Just hope we keep coming together. Now, if we get Max Cosby, fine. But me personally, I wouldn't pay no whole bunch for him. Now that somebody else had him and they had a price, and they gave him back, they returned it. And I don't care what y'all say. If 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 somebody go in the store and buy something, this fact ain't no different. If somebody go in the store and buy a anything and they had to return it because it was something they felt that it had a defect in it, and they returned it, there's no way you're gonna get me to buy it for the same price. And if you charge me the same price, I think you disrespecting me. The second thing is all these teams have a loyalty, not just the Cowboys have a loyalty to their fan base. All these other teams who we talk about trading and getting their players from them, if they trade us some big time players at this particular point in time, they're what they're telling their fan base to get a draft pick for next year. And the draft pick they probably gonna get from next year probably gonna be in the damn late 20s or damn near 30s. So hate to say it, but I think we're gonna tweak some. There's gonna be some. We're gonna have some moving around. They got some things that they probably. I love Terrence Steele. I think Terrence Steele is a very good player. I think he's maybe not playing good right now. They may bring a veteran lineman in there and put and take that rookie guy, and he'll eventually come up with some type of injury in the next couple of days, and they redshirt him, and they may bring a veteran lineman in here. I can see that happen. I can see if they may be trying to go get a cornerback. I can see that them trying to go get not safety. I don't see them getting no running back. If they need anything, if I see anything they need to bring in here, it's probably running back. Defensive line, I don't. I think. I, listen, you got guys, man, in their second and third year just need opportunity. They'll make plays if they're around good guys in the rotation. They'll make plays. Sometimes guys need to be around guys that's making plays. It's about the see. Sometimes Jay Novacek told you this. I think Jay. I keep going back with Jay Novacek. Some of our people need to go back and watch some of their things. Jay Novacek saying when you have second string guys, well, we guys that you're trying to give an opportunity to. When you surround them with a Quinn Williams and a Clark and another guy that's pretty good, usually that young player brings his level up because if they're the right type of leaders, they bring their level up. Now, if you surround that young guy around a bunch of poop, yeah, he's gonna play like that. But when you got a team that's unified, you're gonna find that guys in there that's getting their break is gonna play a lot better than what you think. I've seen it 1,000 times. And and I hate to say it this way, but as the great Aaron Rodgers said, and I don't like to say great Aaron Rodgers, damn Aaron Rodgers, but relax, relax, people, relax, relax. We all right. Relax, man. Relax. We're gonna be okay. I just can't wait for the season to start. I always say, man, couple things before I get off, man. Remember what I said, man. Please like, comment, and subscribe. The super chats. If you want to support the channel, please. If you want to send a super chat, it would be greatly, man. That's we got some things that we're trying to purchase with our YouTube money. That's going to help us put some of our advertisement on there. So all the super chats you can send to me or stars you can send to me to help the show would be greatly. If you share this to get it out of algorithms, that would be greatly appreciated as well. If you want to support the show, there's two ways you can really support the show. One, you can send three ways. You can super chat or send some things on YouTube, or well as you can cash out the show at PBS 222. That would be a great support of the show, so we can keep trying to upgrade this show and keep getting things in this show. If you want to get a T-shirt, Mr. Stephen Jones is going to post his T-shirt on there. He got a T-shirt and a towel for me with defense as a weapon, and I believe defense is going to be a weapon this year. This is the shirt. Let me give you the shirt. This is the shirt that we got. This is the shirt right here. This is the blue. Um, hold on one second. Let me get the other. Let me get the other. Let me get the. Hold on one second. Let me hold on one second, y'all. Hold on, people. Hold on, people. That was the shirt. This is the Choco Gray. That was the Royal Blue. This is the Choco Gray. This is the Choco Gray um, shirt. That was the Royal Blue on the screen, but this is the Choco Gray. Defense is a weapon. The Choco Gray. You got two colors in here. You see this, the cities and got a blue haze to it. Same silver. This is the Choco Gray shirt for defense is a weapon in Dallas. So this is the Choco Gray shirt, and we got the blue shirt that's already in circulation, and these shirts right here, $35 a piece for extra large, all the way to um, 3 extra large, 4X and 5X. It's a $5 charge more. If you want a shirt, and we have towels as well. Um, this is the royal blue towel. This is the towel as well. Now this one doesn't have the little emblem of my trademark, Coach Marv, Real Talk, but you will see that on Mr. Stephen Jones when he posts his picture. He'll show you his shirt as well as his emblem on his shirt. But this is the towel. This is a good towel. This is not no flimsy towel. Stephen Jones can tell you in the chat that this ain't no flimsy towel. You're gonna get it in a bag, and we're gonna have a nice insert in there to tell you how much we appreciate you to support the Coach Marv show. Email me, and these towels are $17 a piece plus shipping and handling. But if you get a shirt and one name and a towel, we gonna that cut down your shipping and handling. Um, this is a print. This is a good print. This is not no cheap printed shirt. Like I said, that was the royal blue, and that was the gray, charcoal gray, and on the screen right now is the royal blue. That's the royal blue. I mean, not royal, but the navy blue shirt. That's the navy blue, and I just showed you the charcoal gray shirt. If you want a shirt, if you want a shirt, um, please email this email address. This is where you email. Email this email address, CoachMarv1914 at gmail.com. You email explaining what your shirt. We will send you an email back. Actually, what size you want, or size, as well as your address with the cash app for you send with the shirt with cost plus shipping and handling. And once we get the payment, we will start processing that order. We got some people that we put out some stuff out there that wanted a specialty shirt. Hey Ginger, we had somebody wanted a long sleeve shirt. We can get long sleeve shirts as well, but we'll give you a price because we don't have none of those shirts on hand. But we can order those shirts. We can order those shirts in charcoal gray as well as in navy blue, and we can get that shirt printed out. You want a long sleeve shirt. We also can print out if you want a hoodie. We can get a hoodie and print it out on hoodie, but all those are going to be a little bit more cost because those costs. And we're doing the individual. We don't have a stockpile of that. We are taking individual orders and we getting your orders done for you and mailed out to you, and you will get it with a nice insert saying thank you for supporting the show. Like I said, super chats. If you can send super chats on the show, all that helps the show keep the show going. And we love for you to do that, and stars as well as. But sharing and liking it, please, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Remember, as I always say, and I'm gonna recap right quick before we get off the show. Remember, man, just relax. Let's not keep going. I know it's a lot of stuff that we going at each other. Uh, we going at each other a lot on back and forth on Twitter because we have different ways of trying to build this thing, and we really honest about it. But we all Cowboy fans, and I understand some of it. But this be all Cowboy. We all looking for six, and I think it's a lot of anxiety because I think a lot of all our content creators know we got a good football team, but they have been disappointed so many times, and things have went off the rails. Uh, yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. Tell them that good quality shirt. We have went off things that went off the rails on our team, and we are lost, and we have made ourselves feel bad. So just relax. I think we got one of the better teams that we have had. I like the young coaching staff. They just got to get these guys to play together, play right, play together, play right, play football the right way. And they play the football the right way. We got enough talent, got enough veteran and young and in between to really do some things. And I always tell you that you better your team is just as good when you have the sum of the parts, and most people have their career years. We're not talking about everybody be Pro Bowls. We're talking about guys having career years. We're talking about guys having the best year of their career. And we can get them in unison, and we can always, work together. We can do something. Yeah, man. Okay, yeah, man. Hey, this cuz the email address right here, cuz right here, Coach Marv 1914. Send that cuz. If you send me an email to that thing, and then I'll get back with you. Email me this and then put your phone number in there, and I'll get back in contact with you and call you. We'll tell you what I'll tell you what that you ain't gonna worry about you. I'll work somebody when I come down to Alabama. But email me on this email address right here. Go right here, email address, and send me your phone number and all that stuff, and we'll get back for it. We'll get that shirt made for you, and I'll get it to me. So when I come to Alabama, I have it when I come down there with you, man. Yeah, I get you a shirt and a towel. We'll be good. You know how we roll. But listen, man, relax. I know we got anxiety. I know we know we got a good team. I didn't go into what I thought about with Pickens, man. I think Pickens is doing a great job. I think Pickens is doing a great job. Um, I just don't I just don't want to see Pickens go off the railroad. And I think and I'm gonna say this, and y'all may think I'm wrong for saying this. If you bring Max Crosby here and you mess around, and I know Max Crosby want an extension. Um, if you bring Max Crosby here and you mess around and say we like Max Crosby and we give him an extension, you may lose Pickens. And I'm not talking about losing the next year. You might lose him this year. And I'm talking about mentally. If you're gonna go and pay two $30 million defensive players, where it's not few many teams that done is doing that on the defensive line, and putting that amount of money on the defensive line, and understand how great defense is, then you could be the first team to say, "Hey, man, I got two quality wide receivers. I can do that." And that's gonna be in the back of his mind. I don't think he had no problem with Quinn Williams because Quinn Williams is a leader on this team. I think he'd have a problem with that if we bring somebody else in here. And I'm telling you, if y'all don't think Max Crosby want an extension, wherever he goes, y'all crazy. He's too good of a player to say he's gonna go because he don't have to prove himself. So you can't run that on him. And he's not going. And this is the only reason why him and the Raiders done fell out. Because the Raiders feel there's something going on with that knee. And the Raiders are not going to invest no more years into Cos because they possibly feel that he's not going to last that long. And he'd rather be somewhere somebody's going to give him extension. And I can guarantee you Baltimore traded for him. But when the doctor says, yeah, he might be all right now, but I wouldn't get no extension, they said, well, he's not gonna be happy with that. And we might well just back off that. I mean, y'all can say no, that ain't happening, but this common think, people. Think, let's use common sense. If that don't sound logical to you, you be like, you crazy. And if you think people just because they love Dallas, yeah, we the big boys, we the boys. So, and listen, and I'm not saying Max Collins is wrong for that. He's earned the right if he feel like he can put that, yeah, to make more money than just that. He's young enough, but when you talking about extensions, those doctors got to say for the long haul, you all right. But if they have any questions about the long haul, not the short term, you're not investing that extension. Or you might invest that extension in something that they ain't got no guarantees and stuff like that. And the player ain't gonna deal with that because he understands what his body is. He want his bread though. And that's not saying that he's not gonna play hard. But he gonna want an extension. His contract about up. So that's where all this is trying to work out. So yes, we may make some more changes, but we got a good damn football team. And relax. We got a good football team. If we play together and play it the right way, we're gonna be hard to beat, man. We're gonna be hard to beat. We got a better football team than I thought. We got a very good football team. We got what I'm saying. We got the parameters of a very good football team. But we just gotta play it. And Coach Marv and this Coach Marv Real Talk, I'm gonna talk about how we gotta play it and the sacrifices we gotta do. I'm gonna talk about stuff that nobody else is gonna talk about, but I can guarantee you, as I always say, we're gonna come back down the street I talk about. We're gonna come back down that street. As I always say in my shows, man, no one and nothing can stop God's will. You gotta put that on the shirt. Because that's what I say all the time. No one and nothing can stop God's will. That's not talking about football. That ain't talking about no sports at all. That's talking about life. And every day so far this week, I had to have a discerning spirit about being to discern different situations and stuff like that. Still trying to work on myself and my health. I'm proud, man. You know, when I first started this YouTube thing back with Boss Cowboy, when I first did my first show, I think I was 435, 445 pounds. I go back and look at some of those videos, and I don't look small now. You know, TV make you look bigger than what you are, and I'm not no small guy. But I look back on those videos back then, man, how swole up been, and I look at certain things, man, and how far I've come, but not being uh, TV savvy and not being able to look in the camera. Now I can look in the camera, don't care. But I go back and look at those videos, and I look at myself now, and I look at myself almost 100 pounds different. And look how big I am. So you can imagine how big I was then. 100 pounds different and still trying to push, man. I'm an old man, still trying to push. Not doing nothing drastic, just still there working at it. And I always ask, just like I ask in my finances and everything I do, say, Lord, let me be diligent to take the first step. And I know you'll take two. For every step I want, I say, God, please make those steps multiply. Make my finances multiply, make my belief in others multiply, make my help for others multiply, make my patience multiply, make my fondness for teams, for sports, make that multiply, increase my territory. That's a tough thing to say, people. We all should talk about increasing our territory. Not just increase our territory in our own finance, increase our territory to influence the positive influence we can touch people's lives. It's not about how much you do, just a little bit, man, that you can touch someone's life. It's important, man. Paying it forward. I always talk about this time, man. I went to the store one time, and when I was out when my father died, and I think I told y'all this. Me and my friend was out one time. At that time, me and my friend was out when my father died, and we were sitting there. It was in IHOP, sitting around talking because we were, arranging that funeral, and we were talking about my father passing, and we were just talking amongst ourselves. And we got up to get ready to pay the check, and the waitress said, "The gentleman that just left overheard y'all talking about your father, and he paid your check, and he left a tip." And maybe a couple of weeks later, I was in the subway. And I was in the subway and I was sitting in line, and it was a lady, I bought me a sub, and then she came right behind me, and she bought the same type of sub, and she got another sub. And she said, we were just talking about the sub, talking about the BMT. And she said, I like mine this way. I said, I like mine this way. And I got up there and I paid it forward. What that guy did for me, I said, put her 2 subs on my tab. And when she got finished getting them fixed us up, she went up there and she said, and I walked out the door. I didn't wait. I walked on out the door. And when she got to hit it, the cashier teller said, the gentleman paid for your subs and your drink and your combo. I paid it forward. Not that I had it like that, I paid it forward. And if we all pay stuff forward, we pay our blessings forward, boy, this world will be a whole lot better. And we'll be a lot less egotistical. We'll be a lot more servant, as we supposed to be. Because we're supposed to live off service, not taking, and not boasting or bragging. Cowboy Nation, relax. YouTubers out there, content creators, relax. We in for some good stuff if we just grind. Be about results, the bar. And as I always say, Cowboy players, Cowboy coaches, keep your mind on your work. Until next time, peace.